And certainly, I would express my disappointment with the legal team of the Vice President, who has 16 lawyers who have signed this particular answer. In an answer, the grounds which were averted to in the third complaint, 6 grounds, should have been answered one by one, because there is a finding by the committee of sufficiency in substance of the 6, although I would like to state that of the 6, I find that those with substance sufficiency is the first and the fourth ground. The other 4 are not. But however, since the committee voted for the entire third complaint to be sufficient in substance, it behooves upon the lawyers. I have been, I was a practicing lawyer before, and quite some time, and I have met many of the lawyers of the Vice President. They're very good. However, in this case, there is no answer to the 6 grounds of the third complaint, and also no direct answer to the 5 grounds. There were 8 grounds in the fourth complaint, but the 6 to 8 complaints were found by the committee to just be corroborative to the first to the 5th grounds. In the fourth complaint, I find that the first 2 has sufficiency in substance, that 3 do not. But I, therefore, am surprised that in this particular case, there is no discussion per ground, and therefore would not give us the real answer of the respondent to the 6 and 5 grounds. 6 in the third complaint, 5 in the fourth complaint. However, Mr. Chair, reading this, there is indeed, I'm only interested in the answer on the 125 million confidential funds in 2022 of the Vice President. And there is an answer. This is paragraph 24. This is page 5 of the answer, consolidated answer. For this 125 confidential funds, the only answer of the Vice President is that in its deliberations of the Saballa and Cabrera complaints, this committee disregarded the petition for review in Sara Z. Duterte versus Nilda B. Plaras, docketed as COA CP number 2024-0194, before the Commission on Audit, COA, Commission proper, notwithstanding that the subject of that appeal is the notice of disallowance involving the same confidential funds that constitute the principal basis of the accusations therein. Significantly, the matter remains pending and unresolved, and any ruling of the COA would, in any event, remain subject to final judicial review of the Supreme Court. A bare answer to definite allegations, ultimate facts in the third complaint and the fourth complaint. So, but this also would, at the same time, provide the committee the obligation to hear the case, to hear the COA on precisely, because I have heard the Vice President say that Mary Chris Piatos will be explained. The 11 days will be explained of the 125 million. But unfortunately, it's not here. But I would say that there is an answer, but precisely it does not have the facts that would constitute the real answer, so a hearing would be required on this particular matter. There is therefore sufficiency of ground for the ground of the 125 million confidential fund. Next, the next one where there are just 2 grounds that I'm saying there is sufficiency and substance. The next one is the threat against the President, the First Lady, the Speaker of the House, Martin Romualdez, by the Vice President of the Republic of the Philippines. The only answer here is on page 9, paragraph 53. This is the only thing that would answer those ultimate facts stated in both the third complaint and the fourth complaint. And may I read, therefore, the answer of the respondent to this threat. It says here, the impeachment complaints likewise brazenly accuse the Vice President of entering into a supposed contract to kill. Yet, they fail to present any shred of proof that any such contract ever existed. Instead, complainants rely on exaggerated conclusions dressed up as fact. With very short answer, Madam Chair, this therefore requires, to me, a hearing on this particular issue, which is ground number 4 in the third complaint and ground number 2 in the fourth complaint. So as far as these two, Madam Chair, I find there is sufficient grounds to continue with the hearing of this case. And since the others were not also, Madam Chair, the others were not clearly answered to, ground by ground, then the decision of the committee stands that there is sufficiency and substance in all the 6 grounds under the complaint, the third complaint, and the 5 grounds under the fourth complaint. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Thank you, Honorable Rodriguez. The Honorable Chua.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Madam Chair, I would just like to give my observation with respect to the consolidated verified answer ad cautelam of the respondent, the Honorable Vice President. Madam Chair, this is, the title itself is likewise similar to the previous answer that they filed during the 19th Congress. It was also a verified answer ad cautelam. So meaning to say, they are now questioning the jurisdiction of this committee without rebutting or answering the accusation point by point. Madam Chair, I understand that we have already decided about the jurisdiction. Therefore, I will no longer lay down the premise with respect to this. Now, it is also quite interesting, Madam Chair, and from the reading of paragraph 1, it appears that this consolidated verified answer is somehow or similar to a motion to dismiss. Because if I may read, Madam Chair, what is written under paragraph 1, it provides that, and I quote, no different from the 2025 articles of impeachment filed against respondent before the Senate and declared void ab initio by the Supreme Court in Duterte versus House of Representatives, this impeachment complaint must be dismissed. Under our rules, Madam Chair, this is a prohibited pleading, Madam Chair. So, aside from that, Madam Chair, in addition to what the Honorable Rufus Rodriguez had said, if we will read the verified answer, this is, we will arrive into a conclusion that this is a general denial. Now, under the, Madam Chair, it is well settled principle that under the rules of court, that a denial is not specific simply because it is so qualified by the defendant. A general denial does not become specific by the use of the word specifically. Paragraph 4 of BP Duterte's consolidated verified answer ad cautelam is, in substance, precisely of such nature. More so, nothing in the said answer controverts the allegation raised in the Sabala complaint. And therefore, all allegations, Madam Chair, in the complaint stand as they were never rebutted. And therefore, Madam Chair, I believe that because of this, we need to conduct a hearing Thank you, Madam Chair.
Again, for the guidance of the justice members, we are not moving backward to be able to proceed to the hearing proper. The Honorable Ilago is recognized.
Yes, maraming salamat, Madam Chair. At tungkol lang sa usapin ng due process, hindi at si VP Sara naman po ay isang impeachable officer at may ultimate facts na tumutukoy sa grounds na nailahad ng mga complaints. Nakita rin ng mayorya ng members ng Committee on Justice na hindi sufficient no, in substance ang mga complaints. Ngayon, nabigyan na nga ng pagkakataon si VP Sara Duterte na mag-file ng kanyang reply, ngunit hindi naman niya na-address ang mga grounds doon sa mga nasabing impeachment complaint. Ayan. Kaya, Madam Chair, hayaan nyo na lang na bahagi ko rin sa kapulungan na ito na tayo po ay consistent doon sa sinabi natin na sufficient po in substance yung mga impeachment complaint, ay naniniwala din po tayo na sufficient pagdating sa grounds ito pong third impeachment complaint at sapat po ang batayan para magpatuloy sa hearing ang impeachment complaint laban kay Vice Presidente Sara Duterte. Sa ilalim nga po ng ating konstitusyon, maaaring tanggalin sa pwesto sa pamamagitan ng impeachment ang Presidente, Vice Presidente, mahistrado ng Supreme Court, members ng Constitutional Commissions at Ombudsman dahil sa culpable violation of the Constitution, treason, bribery, graft, and corruption, other high crimes o betrayal of public trust. At ayaw ko na nga po sanang ulitin, no? Dahil po sinabi ng ating Madam Chair na hindi tayo babalik dun sa mga napag-usapan na at napag-desisyon na ng mayoryang nakapulungan na ito. Ngunit talaga naman pong hindi matatawaran yung bigat ng mga accusation hinggil sa maling paggamit ng 500 million pesos sa confidential funds sa ilalim ng OVP at 112.5 million pesos sa ilalim ng DepEd. Higit po na nakakabahala yung paggamit din ng mga peking pangalan at dokumento upang pagtakpan ang korupsyon sa OVP at DepEd. At ang pondong ito ay mula sa kaban ng bayan at mula sa buwis ng bawat Pilipino, ngunit ginamit ng VP ayon sa kanyang kagustuhan sa tabing ng pagiging confidential nito umano. No? Kaya po, hindi talaga matatawaran yung bigat ng accusations na ito at nakakabahala rin po yung accusation sa pag-hire ng assassin para pumatay. Sa mga maliliit po na tao, nakukulong agad no, sa pagnanakaw ng delata para lang makakain o may pagpatay agad sa mga ordinaryong mamamayan kapag po naaakusahan na sangkot sa gera kontra droga. Pero bakit po sa pangalawa na pinakamataas natin na opisyal sa pamahalaan ay wala pang pananagutan. Ayan. Kaya po sa pangkabuuan, malakas po talaga ang basis para magpatuloy sa impeachment proceedings na ito at matuloy-tuloy po natin ang landas tungo sa pananagutan. Maraming salamat, Madam Chair.
Thank you, Honorable Ilago. Any other member who wish to manifest on the sufficiency in ground of the third impeachment complaint, that is Father Sabalia et al. Impeachment complaint? The Chair wishes to state for the record that with the waiver of filing of reply of the complainants of the third and fourth impeachment complaint, the complaints and answer are deemed submitted for the purpose of determination of sufficiency in ground. Since the complainants waived already the filing of the reply, we have no reason to anticipate the filing of a rejoinder. It therefore means that the answer of the respondent is the last responsive pleading, which will be included in our consideration in the determination of sufficiency in ground. Any other member who wishes to manifest on the third complaint?
Madam Chair. Madam Chair.
The Honorable Ko.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Madam Chair, gaya po ng ibang mga miyembro ng ating Committee on Justice, ako rin po ay gustong magpahayag ng dismaya no, sa naging developments ng sagot ni VP Sara Duterte. Sa ideal, no, meron pong 2 impeachment complaints na kinakaharap si VP Sara. No, sana po ay nagkaroon ng oras, nagkaroon ng pagdetalye, ng pagsagot no, sa mga bawat paragraph, bawat recital of ultimate fact, no, bawat ground na inaakusahan ng publiko si VP Sara. Sana po naging oportunidad ito para namnamin no, ng House Committee on Justice, yung mga miyembro nito, yung iba't ibang posibleng depensa ni VP Sara Duterte. Yun nga po yung ating mga pinoint out doon sa discussions of sufficiency of substance and form. Hindi ito ang panahon para dito. Kailangan nating bigyan si VP Sara Duterte mismo no, ng kanyang pagkakataon or opportunity to defend herself according to due process. Nalatag po ng ating kinatawan sa Gabriela no, ng kababaihan na we went over and above, no? Dinetalye yung steps by which this due process is provided to the Vice President. And unfortunately, ang pagtingin ng representasyon na ito, she squandered that opportunity. No? Sa simpleng pagbigay ng kanyang response ad cautelam, no, na sinasabi lang niya na ito'y sagot, pero no waiver of all other remedies. Pero kung iisa-isahin natin yung kanyang naging content doon sa kanyang answer, they are non-answers. They are continuously pagbalik doon sa, and pag-harp on sa naging proceedings ng sufficiency in form, sufficiency in substance, no? And generally, mga habol sa naging proseso. Ito'y oportunidad sana para ang mga miyembro makapag-take talaga din ng pagkakataon na ma-appreciate yung defense ni VP Sara Duterte. Alas, hindi po ito pwedeng mangyari sa gantong stage. That is why, no, Madam Chair, no, I'd love to also exhaustively, no, provide rebuttals or ang ating pananaw dun sa kanyang mga depensa, no, and in defense of the grounds that we see exist for the proceeding of the impeachment complaint. So, sa kinatawan po na ito, there is basis for us to say there is sufficiency in grounds. Perhaps I can manifest later, no, ano po yung mga grounds na yon. But because, at least for now, no, ang dinedeliberate natin is yung sagot, no, and paano nito ma-i-influensyahan yung pagtingin natin sa sufficiency in grounds, no. Kailangan nang magpatuloy sa trial. Or at least kailangan nang magpatuloy sa hearing on probable cause sa level po ng House Committee on Justice. No, magkaroon ng compulsion kay VP Sara and the other witnesses, no, para i-present na yung evidence dito sa harap ng House Committee on Justice. That's all for now, Madam Chair.
Thank you, Honorable Ko. Again, I wish to state for the record that while some members wish to manifest on a per ground basis, just like what the Honorable Rodriguez did, I wish to share to the members that under Section 7, what is being determined is the complaint's sufficiency in ground. In other words, we will be later on voting on the sufficiency in ground of the entire impeachment complaint and not per ground. Nevertheless, the committee welcomes the manifestation on specific ground if that is the desire of the justice members. Any other member who wishes to manifest on the sufficiency in ground of the third impeachment complaint? The Honorable Tino?
Maraming salamat, Madam Chair. Tingin ko, maaaring panindigan ng kinatawang ito na sapat at matibay ang mga batayan o ang grounds upang ituloy ang proseso ng impeachment laban kay Vice Presidente Sara Duterte. Particular dito sa third complaint at maging dun sa fourth complaint. No? Unang punto, ipinapahiwatig ng kanyang tugong isinumite ng ad cautelam o with caution ang kanyang plano ngayon pa lang na idiskaril na ang proseso at takasan ng pananagutan sa pamamagitan ng pagtakbong muli sa Korte Suprema. So yun na po ang ibig sabihin nun. Kaya nananawagan po tayo hindi lang sa Justice Committee kundi sa House na kailangan panindigan natin ang ating poder, no? Our power as a co-equal branch sa proseso ng impeachment. No? Hindi dapat tayo pumayag na muli na namang madiskaril ng isang desisyon ng Korte Suprema ang impeachment. Pangalawang punto, kapansin-pansin ang kawalan ng tahasang pagtanggi sa mga mismong paratang laban kay Vice Presidente. So walang tahasang pagtanggi ang Vice Presidente sa mga aligasyon. Hindi niya kailanman sinabing hindi totoo ang mga akusasyong ito o inilatag kung ano ang tunay na nangyari. Nagtatago lamang siya sa likod ng mga pamimiloso po ng mga abogado at teknikalidad tulad ng kawalan umano ng due process at ang kapusan daw ng ebidensya laban sa kanya. Pilit niyang iginigit na walang ultimate facts ang mga reklamo at wala raw siyang dapat sagutin. Ngunit pinabubulaanan ang pahayag na ito ng mismo sarili niyang mga sagot. No? Nagawa niya for example na talakayin ang mga usapin ng command responsibility, no? Ang kung katanggap-tanggap ba o hindi ang ebidensya at ang maging yung timing ng aksyon. Pinatutunayan lamang nito na malinaw ang mga akusasyon at lubos niyang nauunawaan ang bigat ng mga ito. Isang malaking panlilinlang ang pagdadahilan ng Vice Presidente na dapat munang hintayin ang pinal na desisyon ng Commission on Audit o ng mga korte bago umusad ang impeachment. Pilit niyang binabaluktot ang katangian ng prosesong ito. Mas mataas ang pamantayan ng serbisyo publiko kaysa sa simpleng kawalan ng final judgment mula sa korte. Hindi ang pagiging malaya sa hatol na kriminal ang sukatan para sa mas mataas na posisyon, sa mga pinakamataas na posisyon, kundi ang pananatiling karapat-dapat sa tiwala ng taong bayan o public trust. No? Hindi sapat na sabihin na hindi naman ako convicted, therefore hindi ako dapat ma-impeach. No? High public office demands a higher standard. Kaya nga po isang ground yung for impeachment, yung betrayal of public trust. Sinasalamin ng ganitong palusot ang katangian ng mga umaabuso at nagnanakaw sa pondo ng taong bayan na mga public officials na nagtatago sa likod ng mga batas habang walang awang pinagkakaitan ng batayang serbisyo ang mamamayang Pilipino. Walang batayan ang pag-iyak niya ng kawalan ng due process. Nabigyan siya ng abiso ng komiting ito, binigyan siya ng pagkakataong sumagot at nakapagsumite nga siya ng kanyang panig. Sa kabilang banda, nais po nating irehistro at nagpapahayag tayo rito ng mahigpit na reserbasyon sa pagsama ng mga paratang ng sedition, destabilization at kaugnay both in the third as well as the fourth complaint bilang mga batayan o grounds sa reklamong ito. Madalas na ginagamit ng mga nakaraan at ng kasalukuyang Marcos Jr. administration ang mga paratang na ito upang supilin ang lehitimong pagtutol para patahimikin ang mamamayan at gawing sandata, lalo na laban sa mga progresibo at sa tunay na oposisyon. Hindi natin dapat pahintulutan ang pag-abuso sa mga kasong ito para sa pampulitikang panunupil. Pilit ding binababa ng Vice Presidente ang antas ng pagdinig sa pamamagitan ng paghingi ng mga ebidensyang pangkorte sa yugtong ito. Ginagawa ang pagtimbang sa mga testimonya at ebidensya sa formal na paglilitis sa Senado, hindi sa panimulang pagsusuri ng komiting ito. Hindi sapat na dahilan ang kawalan ng court grade evidence upang patayin ang reklamo sa ngayon. No? Tahasang paglapastangan sa mamamayang Pilipino ang paggamit ng ganitong mga taktika upang iwasan ang pananagutan. Umaalingaw-ngaw ang panawagan ng mamamayang Pilipino para sa hustisya. Kinakailangang harapin ng Vice Presidente ang formal na pagliliti sa Senado. Dapat ipagpatuloy ng walang pag-aatubili ang prosesong ito upang mabunyag ang buong katotohanan at mapanagot ang dapat managot. Maraming salamat po.
Thank you, Honorable Tino. The Honorable Nasal.
Thank you, Madam Chair. You mentioned earlier that just a point of clarification, you mentioned earlier that no additional pleadings will be allowed